G'day guys, Nate here, coming at you with a rather impromptu video. I did say I was going to mention this sort of video when I wasn't mentioning Ned Long in the round 17 review of our win over Carlton. Thought I'd bring him up in this sort of video, Collingwood's current or upcoming or ongoing selection squeeze, that is. Selection squeeze. This is not a stress ball, this is just a random footy I bought last week. Almost worn out. $10. Go to hell. Collingwood, not with our best 18 or best 22 or best 23 right now. Good depth at the moment at Collingwood. Players performing in the VFL, players performing at senior level, being called up, passing the eye test, as my dad said, in regards to Roan Steele. And that's what we've got right now. We've got a bit of a selection headache, dilemma, migraine, squeeze. I'm going to refer to it as a selection squeeze. Before I get into this video, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel. Leave a like, comment, share it, recommend it, do whatever you want to do. And just a heads up as well, I'm going to be a guest on the Black and White United show next week. He's also on the verge of 1,000 subscribers, and it could be good timing as well when I'm on that show. I expect he'll surpass that on the weekend. So if you guys are subscribed to my channel, but I've not subscribed to his channel, subscribe to that channel for fuck's sake. Under 1,000 subscribers. Starting to get a little bit annoying, just under 1,000 subscribers for him. So get him to that milestone. With all of that out of the way, let's just get into this video. So just firstly, a bit of a health check at the moment. Ash Johnson, by the way, is available. He had illness last week, so he'll be on limited minutes for the Gold Coast game, VFL that is, on Friday afternoon. Still side bottom, Ed Allen also available. Again, they had illness. Bobby Hill still TBA with personal reasons. Lachie Schultz, though, he's going to be going through a full training session this week. Might be available for the Gold Coast game. I look at this injury list, I think to myself, give him an extra week. We're 10 points clear on top. I don't want to be too arrogant. I understand Gold Coast, if we don't have the small forwards or have the forward 50 pressure, we could be fucked or in danger of losing that game. Sorry for swearing. Just for Lachie Schultz, he is needed against Gold Coast. However, with his hamstring history or this past season full of injuries, wouldn't hurt to just have him rested for just one more week. We are playing Fremantle next round on a Sunday afternoon. Same with Big Bad Bo. He will likely be a test for the Freo game. Wouldn't hurt to rest him and have him return for the end of July game against Richmond. Billy Frampton, still a few weeks away. His selection speaks for itself. Second key defender. That's what we need right now. A few other players as well. Tao Jath and Finn McRae, still about a month away with their injuries. Magoe, still in concussion protocol, but again, the Achilles is the main issue there. My big call for Jordan De Goey, if he has not returned to AFL footy by the end of round 23, put a line through him. There's no point being 50-50 with him or being iffy with him and then selecting him for round 24 or the first week of finals, particularly when he hasn't played since the Geelong loss. Charlie West still 4 to 5 weeks away. He'll be needed big time for the VFL, and also Jacob Ryan. If we're deep into September for VFL footy, then Jacob Ryan will make a return, and Harvey Harrison and Reef McInnes out for the season. In regards to our upcoming, or I guess the ongoing selection squeeze, Steele side bottom makes his return, most likely replacing Will Parker. Pretty straightforward there. Oleg Markov remains nearby for selection. However, if Ed Allen is available, we likely select Ed Allen over Oleg Markov. And I know there's a bit of comparison between Roan Steele and Ed Allen right now. They run, and they run all day. They're very good ball users, particularly their kicking efficiency. We might be able to utilise both players. Ed Allen more for the defensive wing, Roan Steele more towards the attacking wing. Bobby Hill, again, TBA with personal reasons. Pretty straightforward with his selection. Same with Billy Frampton. They speak for themselves for their selections. Lachie Schultz, not too far away. Maybe against Gold Coast, maybe against Fremantle. Bo McCreary, maybe against Fremantle or Richmond. We are lacking that forward 50 pressure at the moment, but we did lay 13 inside 50 tackles against Carlton compared to their 2. So our midfielders step up when they push up forward. Lock and key inside 50 right now. But it's good to see guys like Hoskin Elliott and Lachie Sullivan persevere, take their opportunities as well. Hoskin Elliott, bloody hell, 10, 15 disposals a game, kicks a goal a game as well. Sullivan, 20 disposals and a goal, something that Jordan De Goey hasn't done all season. Something that we need from Jordan De Goey as a bare minimum when he comes back in. Lachie Sullivan, 20 disposals and a goal. That's likely the best game he'll play all year. I don't expect this from Lachie Sullivan week in, week out. Hoskin Elliott, I think he knows he's always going to be in the bottom 6 for us. Now, unless we have everybody come back in, then Hoskin Elliott and Sullivan will likely be either the sub at best or an ongoing emergency. But again, I didn't mention Ned Long in my previous video or the round 17 review because this is going to sound a little bit unpopular, Ned Long and Tom Mitchell, we can only go with one of them, and we've got Jordan De Goey to come back in. He's Mr. September. He's the wild card. He's the last piece of the premiership puzzle this season. You hear about Tom Mitchell or Ned Long, but we've not seen Jordan De Goey, Tom Mitchell, or Ned Long in the same team as a trio, even though they're not the same type of players overall. De Goey kicks goals. He's the more attacking player. Tom Mitchell's the in and under midfielder. Ned Long, he can do a little bit of everything. He can play on the outside, on the inside. He's the enforcer in the midfield. And I understand this talk and concerns that we can't play both Tom Mitchell and Ned Long, but I'm also concerned we may not be able to play Jordan De Goey, Tom Mitchell, and Ned Long in the same team. If Jordan De Goey's fit and firing and at his absolute best, if he's at his September best, then I understand we likely go ahead with De Goey and Tom Mitchell over Ned Long. Ned Long might unfortunately be the sub at best if everyone's fit and firing and all the stars align and everyone's at their absolute best and at their absolute peak shape or fitness. Whatever you want to call it. Bobby Hill, Lockie Schultz, Bo McCreary coming back in, side bottom, comes back in, pretty straightforward. Ed Allen, though, that could be a 50-50 proposition there. Depends on what we need. We do need Ed Allen or someone of his capabilities fit and firing. If it's not him, then it's Rowan Steele, but we do need that elite kick outside of defensive 50 or also heading inside 50. We've got Lipinski, the best kick inside 50 in the entire league. Clears whoever's second best right now. Bo McCreary, he's also a very good kick inside 50, brings the pressure, pinch hitting in the midfield right now. It's what we need. Pretty much does what De Goey does in terms of pinching in midfield, even though De Goey plays more in the midfield than it is. I've kind of just contradicted myself there. But the players that are out right now, let's just summarize this right now. Deal side bottom, he's out, he comes back in. Ed Allen likely comes back in. Schultz comes back in. McCreary comes back in. Bobby Hill comes back in. De Goey comes back in, and Frampton comes back in. That's 7 players right now out of our best 22 due to injury. So the depth is showing right now. It hasn't peaked too early or anything like that. And we understand not everyone's going to be firing at their best in terms of their performances. It may be a lull coming up. We might have a few losses along the way. We might have a form slump, you name it. Persevere with it, be patient. There's going to be an ongoing selection squeeze, but hopefully there's no long-term injury coming out of this week against Gold Coast or throughout the month of July or throughout the month of August. Please, for the love of God, no long-term injuries. And a comment I saw online between Collingwood and Carlton was Carlton relies on their stars, Collingwood relies on their system. Next man up sort of stuff. It's good to see. And also praise on Craig McRae. He said pre-season or heading into 2025 about how we had players last year fit to play, but they weren't fit to perform. And he's backed that up in regards to team selections and also players if they're not 100%. Give him the extra week. So I give praise to Craig McRae. He's backing up his talk in regards to player selections and being fit to perform and not just being fit to play. We've got this coming up with guys like Schultz, whether he's fit to perform against Gold Coast or if he's going to be right next week for Fremantle. Bo McCreary as well. Wouldn't hurt to have him return against Richmond, maybe as the sub, or have him play 3 quarters against Richmond, then sub him off early final quarter. Hopefully no injuries there. Frampton speaks for himself, his selection. Bring him back against Brisbane, be the headache against Harris Andrews. Maybe not a defensive forward, but against Brisbane, return brings back good memories there. Hopefully Bobby Hill's able to return at some point. And Jordan De Goey, again, speaks for himself. Wild card, X Factor, Mr. September, you name it. He's the last piece of the premiership puzzle this year. But in saying that, we haven't lost a game since De Goey was deemed unavailable after the Geelong loss. So we are going to be fine without De Goey either way. I'm not sitting here and saying, gee, we need Jordan De Goey right now or anything like that. But if he's fit and available, great. If he's not, I think we'll be fine. Expect a heartbreaking story, however, if everybody's deemed fit and available, or if our injury list goes down to just Harvey Harrison and Reece McInnes and also Jacob Ryan. If everyone's fit and available, expect a John Noble story. It's going to be harsh. It's going to be unfortunate. It might be Ned Long. I'm just looking at this, and if everyone's available and fit and firing, someone like Ned Long, someone who averages just over 20 disposals a game, that includes, or I'm going to disregard him being the sub. Playing full minutes, he averages over 20 disposals. Tom Mitchell, he's good for 25 disposals. Jordan De Goey, he's good for 20 plus disposals, plus a goal or 2 a game. I don't expect it from Sullivan. I don't expect it from Hoskin Elliott. I also don't expect it from a McCreary, but McCreary brings the pressure, goals, the forward 50 entries, you name it, and also the pinch hitting clearances as well. I guess the positive from these injuries and returning on a week-to-week basis is we can build into this, so it's not going to be an overall squeeze. But at the end of the season, or the end of the home and away season, it's going to be very interesting what our best 23 looks like if we have a full list, plus the emergencies, plus any sort of extra depth, and overall 30 players. So apologies if I'm contradicting myself throughout, but this selection squeeze and players out and players to come in, it's giving me a headache right now. So I thought I'd put it out on this video. It's not my best. I am just winging it. There's no real stats to back this up, but maybe we talk about this a little bit more later on in the season. But that'll be all for this video. Hope you guys have had a good week so far. Be well, stay safe, Magpies out.